How did dinosaurs walk? This question keeps me up at night. As a biomechanist and a paleontologist, I use physics to study how modern animals move and then apply this knowledge to dinosaurs. But why? Well, dinosaurs roamed the earth for 170 million years. It's hard to imagine these multi-ton animals just moving around, but clearly they were able to do so. And in fact, they evolved amazing solutions to this problem, solutions we don't see in modern-day animals. So, studying dinosaurs can teach us things that modern animals can't, but it can also help us to understand the success of the dinosaurs themselves. I focus on locomotion, which just means moving from A to B. But studying dinosaur locomotion is no walk in the park, though. They've been extinct for nearly 66 million years. Most of them anyway, because if you look outside, you might see an avian dinosaur, better known as a bird. For the non-avian dinosaurs, we're usually limited to fossilized skeletons. And if they're really well preserved, we can still coax out some of their secrets. Allow me to introduce you to Trix, the exceptionally well-preserved Tyrannosaurus rex housed here in Naturalis, the Natural History Museum in Leiden, the Netherlands. Seeing a T-Rex in real life for the first time really drives home how large these animals were. Trix was essentially a walking bus. Some of you may know T-Rex as a movie monster that can chase down a Jeep going in fourth gear. T-Rex couldn't actually run that fast, but today I want to talk about walking, not running. When animals don't have to run, when they're not being chased by a T-Rex, they tend to choose a slow, lazy walking speed. This is called their preferred walking speed. And it turns out that they choose this speed because it minimizes the energy they spend when they go from A to B. Even humans, when they're not in a rush, they choose an energetically optimal walking speed. How? Well, there's several factors at play here, but an important one is that animals make use of resonance. Allow me to demonstrate. If I choose the wrong rhythm, I waste a lot of energy while almost nothing useful happens. But at the correct rhythm, I get a lot of movement for very little effort. This is resonance, and I don't even have to think about it. It just feels right. And in this way, animals choose moving rhythms, or they move at rhythms that are in harmony with the natural frequencies of their bodies. So think of arm swinging, leg swinging, the neck bobbing of a giraffe, or the tail of a dinosaur. The tail is what makes dinosaur locomotion truly unique. There are animals alive today that keep their legs straight under their bodies like this, but none of them have a crocodile-like tail. In a crocodile, the tail houses its biggest muscle, and when it contracts, it pulls the legs backwards to power the stride. This is the same in a dinosaur, but crocodiles can drag their tails over the ground. Dinosaurs can't. Imagine having to suspend a 1-ton tail horizontally like this. You would get tired, right? Well, wrong, because dinosaurs can maintain this posture for free. This entire tail was suspended by ligaments. This is where Trix's great preservation comes into play. Let's go take a look. Ligaments connect two bones together. Looking closely at the tail vertebrae, you can see a smooth area in the middle and a rough, prickly area on either side. This rough, prickly area is where the ligament attached. And if you play connect the dots in 3D, you will have reconstructed the ligament. Now, like a rubber band, ligaments store energy when you stretch them and release them when you let go. So this whole tail can be seen as a big mass of flesh suspended by a rubber band. So with each step that the animal took, it would bob gently up and down. So if T-Rex chose the correct step rhythm, the tail would start to resonate, and this would maximize energy expenditure. Now, I can feel it for this rubber band, but how do you find this for a T-Rex tail? Well, we decided to use physics, biomechanics to be exact. With the help of my colleagues Knoek van Soest and Anne Schulp, I built a computer model for physics simulations of the tail. Using a 3D scan of Trix's tail, I was able to reconstruct the muscles, and this gives us the weight of the tail, about 1 ton by my estimate. If using maths and including the springiness of the tail ligaments, you can then calculate the step frequency. This was about 2 steps every 3 seconds. Ideally, I would have reconstructed the tail of a living animal first, but no living animal holds its tail horizontally like this. So we did the next best thing, a sensitivity analysis. We came up with different scenarios, like a heavier tail, a longer tail, etc. And for all of these scenarios, we calculated what the step rhythm would be. The biggest uncertainty in step rhythm came from the ligaments. And remember, in Trix, the ligaments are really well preserved. So this is encouraging because the largest uncertainty in our estimate comes from something we're quite confident about. Some features that we're not so sure about, like how heavy the tail was, had absolutely no effect on our results. 2 steps every 3 seconds. But what about step length? We found this by scaling the trackway of fossilized footprints of a tyrannosaurid up to Trix's size. All in all, this results in a speed of about 1.3 meters per second. Let's just say 4 to 5 kilometers per hour. And here's what we think that would have looked like. Here you can see Trix gently walking by. But how does this compare to modern animals? Well, you can look at 2-legged animals, ostriches, emus, humans, they all walk at about the same speed. But you might argue that these animals are much smaller than T-Rex. So if we look at larger animals like horses, elephants, giraffes, they also select the same speed. So it's encouraging that our new method gives us speeds that match the walking speeds of modern animals. In paleontology, the best thing we can do is to apply different methods to study the same phenomenon and see how our results compare. Other researchers have studied walking in T-Rex based on the legs alone. Now these are exceptionally long in T-Rex, so this gives you walking speeds that are essentially twice as fast as our estimate. And this is where it gets exciting, because different methods are giving us different results, and that means that we have to do more research to try and see where this difference comes from. We've already learned a lot from just reconstructing the tail. But if you want to fully understand an animal's movements, you need to zoom out to the body as a whole. I'm not going to give away too much just yet, but here's a sneak peek of a more sophisticated model I'm working on that includes controllable muscles. As you can see, we've come a long way, but it's been worth it. This method allows us to study animal movement in a holistic way, hopefully giving us a better understanding of how they lived. It's easy to forget when seeing skeletons like this that they belong to living, breathing, moving animals. They really do grip the imagination with teeth as large as this. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that T-Rex wasn't some mythical movie monster. No, T-Rex was a normal animal doing normal animal things. So the next time you take a walk outside, try to imagine a T-Rex gently cruising by over 66 million years ago. And this T-Rex could have been walking slowly with a gently bobbing tail at about the same speed as you.